The couple are in their early 50s, live in Los Angeles, work in the entertainment industry and were married for 26 years. Their 2 children are now grown and live on their own. Their marriage had its ebbs and flows and uncertainties, but they stuck together, partly for the sake of the kids. Once their 2 adult children moved out, their marriage started to dissolve and they split up. They divorced in 2016. Call it the 2-0-year itch. After the children move out, some couples who have been together for decades face a conundrum: stay together and work things out or split. Despite the many years together, some opt for divorce. Why after 20 or 25 years married, does the relationship dissolve? According to the Pew Research Center, among adults 50 and older in the U.S., the rate of divorce has approximately doubled since the 1990s, and for those 65 and older, it's roughly tripled in the same period of time. Kids leaving home is a major milestone in life, explained Deb Purdy, author of Something Gained, 7 Shifts to Be Stronger, Smarter. You're 45 to 55 years old and realize you won't live forever, Purdy said. Having children depart triggers a spate of questions such as, what have I done with my life? Am I happy in my marriage? Or do I want to start fresh? How couples lose their connection raising the kids is so consuming that it can occupy all the oxygen of a marriage. It's easy to ignore, gloss over or not deal with the dysfunction of your marriage, Purdy said. Parents are preoccupied by the everyday life of their kids, including grappling with grades in school, transporting them to, say, soccer practice and possibly helping them gain acceptance into a good college. Furthermore, resentments often foment over the many years of a long-lasting marriage. Your spouse feels as if he's holding you back. You're trapped in this unsatisfied situation. Jumping out of it and starting over seems more filled with hope and possibility, offering a new start, Purdy noted. A friend of Purdy's summed up the dilemma in 2 terse sentences. When his kids moved out, he said to Purdy, "Kids are leaving. I hope I really like my wife." Before the children abscond and forge their own life, the signs of any discontent rumbling in a marriage are usually present years before the kids move out, said Jay LeBeau, a clinical professor at Northwestern University in Evanston, Ill. Many couples are consumed by their children and lose connection with each other. Importance of communication. LeBeau stresses that most of the time, these differences can be negotiated if the couple possesses strong enough communication skills to resolve disparities. If the couple is in their mid-50s, and she's thinking about sitting on a rocking chair on a porch in a sunny climate upon retiring and he wants to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, those conflicts can be talked out and resolved. You look for ways to bridge the differences. In most cases, people are able to come up with ways that allow for a good solution for everyone, LeBeau said. He also acknowledges that in some cases, there are irreconcilable differences that can't be resolved. It's rare that someone wants to go on an ashram and the other wants to stay on Wall Street, he added. Hence, many couples strive to patch things up and reinvigorate the marriage. Both people have to be committed to wanting it. It won't work if one is ambivalent, Purdy said. How to reinvigorate marriage? Couples have to jointly reinvent themselves. It's no longer business as usual. They have to negotiate issues together such as, what do we want our future to be like? What are our mutual goals, and how do we help each other accomplish them? For couples who want to save their marriage, Purdy recommends the following. Describe as a couple together exactly what you want your marriage to look like in the next few years and beyond, creating an ideal roadmap for the future. Recreate the excitement of when the two of you first met. Start dating as if you were starting fresh, and get creative and experimental with your sex life. Often couples need an outsider who can offer some perspective, so consider marriage therapy or a couples retreat to reinvigorate the relationship. Facing the inevitability of divorce, but sometimes the signs indicate that divorce is on the horizon, suggested Joanne Pedro Carroll, a Rochester, New York-based clinical psychologist and author of Putting Children First: Proven Parenting. Strategies for helping children thrive through divorce. When couples lose the ability to communicate any appreciation of each other, that's often a sign that the marriage is collapsing, she said. In fact, studies indicate that many couples wait 6 years before expressing their dissatisfaction, Pedro Carroll noted. Couples who address issues immediately, however, can often find ways to reconnect, have fun and talk about what's bothering them in ways that aren't destructive, said Pedro Carroll. She advises couples, say what you mean, without being mean. The best advice I can give is to recognize early warning signs. Very often people are in denial, Pedro Carroll added. But Purdy notes that sometimes splitting up and divorcing can be the right decision for some couples. Not all marriages are meant to last a lifetime. In fact, half of them don't, she said. A divorce can sometimes serve as a do-over that enables someone to reinvent one's life for the better, Purdy said. Pedro Carroll agrees that divorce is the best outcome when the relationship is filled with animosity and abusive behavior toward each other. That's a toxin for children, especially if children are caught in the middle. The key is taking the judgment out of divorce. According to Purdy, divorce isn't good or bad. It just is. Reframing divorce from a failure of character to a catalyst to make ourselves better is key. More from Next Avenue. Are the 4 horsemen trampling your marriage? 7 biggest complaints of long-married couples. 11 ways to reignite the spark in a marriage.